Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint a cute little Christmas gnome with a little Christmas tree and a lantern. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm going to try to keep it simple for beginners, and I'll show you step by step how to do it from start to finish tonight. I've got my husband Mark with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's man in chat for tonight's show, so if you've got questions while I'm painting, you can ask those in chat, and we'll try to answer. Let's get started. Alrighty, so I'm going to be using a 12-inch canvas today. You can see that I've painted it blue. This is Ultramarine Blue, very little bit of it, and just painted it on very thin just to kind of give us a ground to start with on our canvas. It'll just help us with our values and kind of figuring out what else we want to do tonight. I have created the reference photo from my own imagination, so if it's not anatomically correct, you can blame me for that. We'll do our best tonight. All right. Fortunately, gnomes are pretty simple to do. Let me go over colors. Got carbon black, burnt umber, cadmium yellow light, phthalo green yellow shade, phthalo blue green shade, ultramarine blue, and that's our background color there. Quinacridone Magenta, Cadmium Red Medium and Light, and then this is Unbleached Titanium. There's a glare on there, so it looks kind of funky, but it's Unbleached Titanium. I can't even block the glare. There we go. Unbleached Titanium, Titanium White, and Zinc White. Zinc White is just a transparent white, so if you don't have it, just use Titanium White. Totally fine. And this is gloss glazing liquid that will kind of help us with a little bit of blending and stuff like that. If you don't have that, you can just use water instead, or a matte medium or some other kind of acrylic blending medium if you have it. All right, I am going to... My brush is all wet here, or my brush is all dirty here from doing the blue. Let me talk about brushes. I've got a 2-inch Aspen that I'll probably be using for a lot of this background to work on. And then I'm going to grab I ate dinner before the show, and that's why I'm late, so I'm sorry. It serves me right for actually eating dinner before trying to work tonight. I'm going to use a 10 Filbert here for the background. This will be a large kind of stiff bristled brush. If you don't have this, just use any large, even a flat brush will work, just to kind of fill in the background for some of our details. And then for our tree, I'm going to be using an angle brush, which I did not get out yet. There we go. 3/8-inch angle brush. And that'll also be for the gnome and a lot of the details. And then I'll need a liner brush or a round, kind of small-ish round for some of the details on the hat and the face and things. And then for our tree, I'm going to put the tree in kind of stylized. So if I use a different brush for that, I will let you know as we get going here. So our gnome is going to set right here, and our tree is going to be right here. It'll be a little bit higher than him. So I just really right now just need a kind of mark for our horizon line, and I kind of wanted it to look like it's kind of a snowdrift sort of arcing like that. So that'll be all we really need for now, and I think I'm going to make the background a little bit darker than in my reference photo. I think I want to bring out some darker tones so that I can have a little bit of glow in the lantern and in the tree. So I'm going to make my background just slightly darker than in the reference photo, and also kind of probably paint in some snowflakes and things. So I'm going to grab some burnt umber and some ultramarine blue. I didn't need nearly that much. Don't need a ton of the burnt umber, and I'm going to get a little bit of phthalo blue too, so it's got a slight greenish tint. These two blues, I like to, if you notice, like I've got, 2 reds and 2 blues. I don't have my other yellow in here. Sometimes I'm probably going to miss it, but sometimes I'll have like a golden yellow and then this lighter yellow. But I like to have 2 like tones of each color, like a warm and a cool version. One that's like closer to red or pink, and then one that's closer to like orange. or in this case, closer to yellow. And that kind of gives me more of a range for when I'm mixing my colors than just having 3 straight primary colors. All right, so this is gonna be a nice color, I think. It's a little bit dark, and this may be a little bit darker than I want, so I think I'm gonna grab a little bit of white and just mix that in. Ooh, look what a lovely, like, light. That's really pretty gray. Gray blue. I think I wanted a little bit more vibrant than that, though. I think a little bit too much of that burnt umber went in there. So just a little bit more of the blue. There we go. So that'll be, it's sort of muted, but not too muted. I think that'll be a really pretty color for us. And you can see it's going on a little bit darker than our blue that we put on back right at first. Here, I'm going to go a little bit darker in the corners. That'll create like a little bit of a vignette feeling, so it kind of draws the attention down into the painting when you do that. So we'll go a little bit darker in the corners. And then I'm going to go a little bit lighter sort of around the middle of our subject. So there's kind of like a glow between the tree and the gnome here. So I'm just going to get a little bit more of my white. And as I put that on, I'm just going to kind of go in a slight circular motion and just kind of blend that in. You can see I kind of putting on this background coat very quickly. I'm not really worried too much about how it's looking. I've got this blue underneath, so even if some of the background peeks through, the blue's gonna be there and kind of create a little glow. So I would say just kind of go quickly on this part so that you can get a little bit of a blend going. And I think I will go a little bit darker on the horizon line. I know I have it lighter back there, but I think I'm going to go darker instead back here, just kind of underneath.
And this canvas is a 12 by 12?
12 by 12, yes.
Okay.
12 by 12, haven't done anything except for painted it with a very light coat of ultramarine blue, but I don't prep my canvases. If you buy good canvases, you don't have to. If you're getting like cheaper canvases, you may want to use gesso to kind of smooth them out. This one has got a little bit of texture, but it's fairly smooth already, so I didn't have to do that. But if you've got a canvas that's got a ton of texture, it does make it a little bit harder to blend things like this. So you could try painting it with gesso, 1 or 2 coats, and that'll really help give you a little bit more smoother canvas. And the smoother texture will make it a little bit easier to do things like blend. And I don't know if I need to go quite that light. I'm just kind of trying to put this on quickly, getting a mid-tone here. So I put the lighter tone here, I have the darker here, and so I kind of just mixed it together, the dark and the light, so that I had kind of a middle ground color to lay on here. And yeah, I don't think I want it quite that light in the middle. I think I want it a little bit darker. Just gonna go over it just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that'll be a nice little area for our gnome to set. And if we want to get fancy, you could put some trees or things back here, but I don't think I'm going to mess with that too much because I do want to put in some snowflakes and things, and if I have too much else going on back there, it'll just kind of distract. So I'm going to get my white and my 2 blues and a little bit of that burnt umber. Maybe go a little bit more, maybe go a little bit different tone here. Maybe go a little bit more with the phthalo blue on the bottom area here. There's just like a little slightly different tone to the color, different undertone. And what we'll do is we'll add our white on top of this, but having this blue underneath will give us a nice base for our upper colors to go on. That looks really nice. Okay, so we're already getting that feel of winter. Nighttime, I think it'll be a little bit more dramatic. I don't know. The colors will be a little bit more intense, and it'll make sense for our tree to glow a little bit more too. We can have a little bit more fun with that. All right, well, let me think. I'm probably going to need you to dry this, honey. So, take a minute, clean out your brushes.
Give me that other brush there too.
Dry. Thank you. Dry off your canvas. I'm going to get a... You always want to keep your hands clean too, so make sure you keep some handy wipes close by, because any of this stuff that gets on my hand here, if I rest that on my canvas later, that's actually kind of just tinted, but if it was thicker, it could actually transfer to my canvas, so I have to be careful about that, and I like to just keep my hands clean as I work. All right, for this next step, you're going to need some chalk. You could also use something like a pastel pencil. I've got all kinds of different pastel pencils here that would work. These are pastel chalk from Generals. Those work really well. There are graphite aquarelle. Not sure if I'm saying that right, but they are water-soluble pencils, so those work as well. Also, the aquarellable, I'm not sure, water-soluble General Scriball pencils. Those will write on canvas and are really easy to erase, and then the charcoal white is another really good one to use. So there's lots of different, and then any watercolor pencils as well will work. I find on canvas, especially with the textured canvas, that a really soft chalk is my favorite, but of course you can't get tons of detail with the chalk, so if that bothers you, you can use a pencil. Like one of the ones that I mentioned there, and that will make it a little bit easier. Okay, so super fun. Let's go ahead and draw him in. I want to leave room for his little hook, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of put that in first, so I sort of know where generally he's going to be at. I want to, whoops, no, I want to do like that. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger than in my photo and do a little bit of a hook on the end. All right, so there's our little crook. I want his hat to go up here. So I want to kind of fill that whole space up with his big old hat. And there's the little circle on it. And then there's the star on our tree. Just kind of drawing out the biggest things up here and sort of placing them generally where I think they're going to fit. So there'll be our tree shape. I might move that star over just a little bit, I think. And if you use chalk like that, it just comes off really nicely for me. So I'm going to do my shape here. It's kind of just going to be an A-frame shape, and then I'm going to split it into 3 parts like this. And kind of curve these parts. Maybe bring this one up just a little bit. So that'll be sort of our general shape, and then we'll just curve these parts in and cut off a little bit of this. So cut off a little bit of that. But that way we get our kind of general shape right. See? And then we'll do a little star at the top here. So something like that. Cute, 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 cute. Love it. And I'm going to really exaggerate this and bring it out even more. Something like that, okay? Then our little gnome is going to stand here next to our tree. He's going to be kind of in here somewhere. Little feetsies. Just little half moon shapes, sort of flat on the bottom. Really oval shapes almost. His little boots. And I feel like I can probably bring him down just a little bit. I'm looking at this kind of at my lot of dead space down here. So I think I might move him down and make his hat a little bit more exaggerated. So I might move him down to here. Since I've got all this space to use up, might as well, right? That'll kind of make him a little bit even more kind of stylized, I don't know. Give us more room for his big old beard too. So let's go ahead and kind of start that little beard. That'll be the bottom of it. Here's his bottom of his body. There's a little bit of the red showing through. You could do his whatever color you wanted to too. That's the nice thing about something like this, is there's really not going to be a whole lot of right or wrong. There's a lot that you can do that we will personalize it. So I'm just going to kind of put little ovals for the hands. Make sure that comes down. I'm going to bring that down just a little bit more. So there we go. Yeah, that's cute. So he's a little bit taller. But I think I'm gonna still like end him right here. I don't want him super long. I kind of want him sort of squat. So let me erase some of this stuff that I did before. Give myself a clean workspace. And let's bring his hat out a little bit more too. So there we go. We'll have that out there because we've got some space around our tree here that we can fill up. And then we'll do a little curve here and do a nice big hat. And you want to curve the top of it so that it looks like it's kind of tucking back around under him. Okay, cute. Cute, cute, cute. I'm gonna really move that over. There we go, like that. Keep it narrow and then just widen it out right at the base. There. Very good. Cute. Let's go ahead and move his hands down too. I keep changing things, but that's okay. That's the nice thing about chalk. All right, so we'll move his hands down here. The tree will be kind of, I might move the tree down a little bit too. Why not? I'll just make these sections a little bit bigger. There, okay. And then his nose. Let me give him a band on his hat here. Just making it a little bit wider around the hat, and then the nose just tucks up right up underneath there. Give him a nice big nose. And then his beard's gonna, or his mustache is gonna come out like this. And then the beard is gonna curve out and curl back around. Somewhere like that. I think that'll work. I made him kind of chubby, didn't I? But that's okay. He's kind of got some character to him. I can change things up as I go. All right, I'm going to grab a short filbert. This is a number 4 filbert. And I'm going to go ahead and start on my tree here. Get my green, a little bit of yellow. And I'm going to grab a little bit of that brown that was over here, that burnt umber. The burnt umber will just kind of tone my green so that it's not so bright. Makes it look a little bit more natural. And for the tree, I'm just going to do these kind of sweeping brush strokes like that. I'm going to get a little bit of black and burnt umber and mix maybe a little bit with the phthalo blue. Mix a really, really dark green and do the next layer with some darker green. And if you wanted to, you could do each one of these a different tone. You know, we could do like light, medium, and dark. There's all kinds of fun things we can do with it if we wanted to. I'm going to go ahead and do like that. Just to kind of get the basic shape of my tree in. And you can see I'm just using the edge of this brush and pulling it down so that I'm getting little wispy brush strokes. But I want it nice and dark up here where these are going to overlap because I'll have some highlights happening up underneath where, or over the top of this. So I'll be creating some lighter textured brush strokes up in there. Okay, that looks good. Cute. Very good. And I'll go ahead and do a little bit of dark right up underneath there, right up into the star.
So how you been doing? How you been doing?
Good. Doing good.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a couple days.
I know. Mark posted a picture the other night because I was gone out with a friend at a concert. First time in 2 years I've gone out for a concert with Margaret, my friend, my concert buddy. We used to go multiple times a year, and due to, you know, everything happening, the last few years haven't gotten to do that. So yeah, it was super fun. And Mark was playing video games all night, having a blast of his own.
With
all
my
right.
kids.
Right, no kids, no, just the animals all on his lap, loaded up on the lap.
Playing with the kids though.
Right. Oh yeah, you were playing with the boys. Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's right. He was playing with our 2 older boys. And they got on. They included their dad, and he was pretty excited.
That's so awesome.
They like you, all right. You're a pretty good guy. Okay, so I've mixed up a little bit of like a turquoisey green with my, I keep wanting to cough, sorry, with my phthalo blue and phthalo green here. If you don't have phthalo green, just add yellow to your blue. It'll still make a bright green, especially the phthalo blue. It makes a really nice bright green. But the phthalo green just kind of gives us a head start so we don't have to mix every single thing. I just got paint on that brush and definitely don't want to leave it like that. That would not be good. I just touched my brush over there. I was getting more paint out.
Hey, 2 termites went out to dinner. You know what they ordered for dinner?
No, I don't want to know.
Yeah, you do.
No.
Why not? It was a table for 2.
Oh, gosh.
Oops. Wrong sound effect.
No.
It's supposed to be this sound effect.
No. That was the sound effect. Wah, wah. Wah, wah. Crickets. It's terrible. I liked it better when you were just being funny. And not telling dad jokes all the time.
No crickets? Okay, here you go. You can't hear them, but I can.
Okay. All right, so I'm using the mid-tone color now. So this is kind of the dark, and this time I'm gonna kind of pull from the bottom up and not quite go all the way to the top. So leaving a little bit of that dark showing there. All right, so, and just overlap them a little bit. Don't have to touch, but every now and then you probably want them to touch a little bit. Like this is a super simplified, easy way of doing a Christmas tree. I'm going to do a little bit more kind of mid branches there. And I'm going outside my lines. You can see, I've kind of got these lines, but going outside the lines a little bit too. Cute. Okay, that works. Really fun. Very easy. All right, and then I'm going to get my light color. I think I'm going to add a little bit more white. When you add white to green, it kind of mutes the color a little bit. So if you add a little pop of yellow back in, it'll brighten it back up. And yellow is such a light color that it doesn't affect the value of it. It doesn't make it darker. So there, now we have a nice bright, vivid green. Ooh, that's really bright. So you want to do this like maybe like the little salt on top, just a little spice. You don't want it to overdo and take over. This is going to be what your eye is drawn to, these brighter colors. So you want to kind of just take it slow and do them minimally. And if you get a thick one there, what you can do is take your darker color and just go back over it a little bit. You don't have to live with it. You can always go back over and fix things. That looks good. See? Isn't that fun? Just using the edge of my brush, and really it could be any flat brush. It did not have to be. It could even be my angle brush. It does not have to be this Filbert. Just use what you've got. And this is one of those that really doesn't have to be perfect, so we're not having to worry about our edges being super clean or anything like that. Sometimes you want a brush that's, if you're doing a lot of fine details, you want a brush that's going to have a little bit more a little bit more shape to it, hold together a little bit more. But this kind of painting, we don't really need to worry about that too much. I'm just going to go back in here and add a little bit more of my dark in between some of these. If it looks like I kind of lost a little bit of it. Okay, that looks really good. I like that. I'm going to clean that out. And let's go ahead and put in our star. I'm going to add just a little bit of that phthalo, or not phthalo, Cadmium Red Light. Just a little tiny bit will do. It's really, really high tinting strength compared to the yellow. So I'm going to wipe all of that out and get fresh yellow and come over here and just use what's in my brush here. Maybe get a tiny little bit of this already mixed up color. There we go. So now we've got kind of a nice gold, and we'll fill in our star shape. We need a little bit of white, which happens with yellow. Yellow is not going to cover over the top of that black or that dark blue very easily. So having a little bit of white in there will help it cover. White is going to be, the titanium white's going to be really opaque, and it'll adjust. And then we can go back over with the brighter yellow again to brighten it back up on top of this. But the yellow on top of this white layer, white-ish layer, will be much brighter than the yellow on top of the dark blue.
Okay, I got a question because nobody's paying attention, including me.
Okay.
So they want to know, how did you make that green? And then somebody asked,
How did I make the green?
Yes.
I mixed the phthalo green with a little bit of ultramarine or burnt umber and yellow over here. And then right here I added black and a little bit of phthalo blue with that.
And it was phthalo green yellow shade?
Phthalo green yellow shade, but you can use phthalo green blue shade. It doesn't matter. Either one will work. You just add more yellow if you've got the blue shade. So
what if I got purple shade?
Then you're out of luck.
Oh, great, of course. That's the story of my life.
Okay, I think pretty happy with that. I'm gonna. What did I have on my brush there? That's weird. I'm just gonna use my clean water on my brush here and clean off any of this chalk marks along the edges of my tree there. Get rid of those. Okay, looks good. Let's go ahead and give this guy his little staff here, I think. I thought about shifting it and putting it over here, but I like the hat going on the inside. If I did it over here, I'd have to have the hat coming off this side, and I just think I like the movement of this coming in a little bit. It's a heavier movement, and so for the composition, I think it fits a little bit better to have it in the middle, pointing to our tree instead of pointing out off the canvas. So when you're creating something like this from, obviously just your own imagination, you want to think about things like that. And I may put a little bird up here too if we have time tonight. So I'm going to make this a little bit wider. Just feels a little bit crowded. But I want to think about, I don't want anything to be like maybe this far off the edge. So maybe my lantern would be in here somewhere. Somewhere in here, like that. And then have a little arm, and then our little curve would be coming in like this. This is going to be probably the hardest, or one of the hardest. So just, if you want to, you can use a smaller round brush. Probably easier to do than with this brush. There we go. Cute. Just gave it an extra little wiggle as it came around here. I like it. I'm going to get some unbleached titanium. Mix that in with what's on my brush here. And just while that's wet, I'm going to go ahead and give it a little highlight. And it's probably going to be lit up towards the bottom because that light coming off of our lantern is going to be shining up. So you can think about that. We'll do a little line kind of coming up there for our lantern. Make its shape. And it's okay if it's got a little character to it. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Is it okay for you to be painting outside the lines like you are right now?
Yes.
I mean, I thought that was like a big no-no with the art police.
Things as I go. Yeah, the art police, they're just gonna have to,
First, you didn't really draw it per the reference photo. And now you're not even painting it per the drawing that wasn't per the reference photo. So you're just like completely off the rails.
100%. And then, it's my drawing, so I can do that. I make the rules here. My painting, my rules. When you do yours, you can do whatever you want with yours. There's so many fun things you can do to personalize it, make it more unique to you. This is just one way of doing it. It's not the best way or the only way. It's just a way of doing it. Maybe it'll help you feel a little bit braver when you get, you know, painting and at least have a place to start. Learn a few techniques.
So, somebody asked in chat, and
Wiping off my chalk marks here.
we posted a little picture in the group because YouTube here in 2022 changed the way they organized the videos.
Yes. Oh,
And
hate it.
Since we do like almost everything live stream,
Yes.
you will find most of Angela's videos under the live tab.
Yeah, you have to go to live instead of videos.
Right. Videos is
Downloads.
too intuitive. So don't follow what makes sense.
Right. Well, it used to be videos. It used to be that there
right.
was, you know, or yeah, it would just, yeah. So not anymore. Now all of my videos are under live. So if you want to look and see what the new things
Well,
are.
there's still some under the videos, but they're from years ago.
Old because I
Uploaded them.
I don't upload very often.
We don't like video editing.
No.
We're lazy. That's why we live stream.
Yes, 100%.
Hashtag truth.
Hashtag real. Real life. Hashtag editing is terrible. That's too
trying to learn
long
it.
probably for a hashtag.
I'm trying to learn it
I'm
until I can
I
get
would say
efficient.
something else, but kids might be watching, so
Yeah.
trying to be good. Okay.
Hash browns.
Hash browns. Just cleaning up here, thinking about what I want to do next here. All right, let's go ahead and get him going. I do think I'm gonna, while I have this yellow here, I'll go ahead and kind of put a little bit, actually start with the orange. And I'm gonna use this brush with texture. So use a brush that has some texture. It doesn't have to be this one, but just use a brush that has some texture to it. And go ahead and just kind of really drag it in there. Don't have a lot of paint on my brush here. That'll give it a glow. Wiping it off there. And let's just go ahead and pull it outside my lantern too. Make sure that black is dry before I do this, but there we go. So got a little bit there. Then I'm going to get the next darker color and do a little bit in the middle. And if that is still drying or it's trying to dry, you can let it set and dry all the way. But if I catch it in time, I can kind of add a little bit. Just have to be careful with acrylics because once they start to dry, they get sticky and they don't want you to add any more layers. So probably 3 layers is going to be about the best I can do here before I have to just let it dry. Okay, so there I got a little bit of the brightest yellow to add, just kind of like a little bit right there in the middle. Whoops. There we go. And then I can wipe out what's on my brush and just kind of tap around it just a little bit. Oh, you can see where it's lifting right there. That's where you have to watch for, because if you mess with it too much while these under layers are drying, it'll lift. Okay, let's just leave that alone. But it looks like it's glowing, so I'm happy with that. It's cute. Let's use some of this, now that this yellow is dry, let's use some of this darker gold. And I'm going to create a shadow on my star here. So I'm going to kind of shadow it at the bottom. And then under here. A little bit under here. And a little bit to one side here. Kind of like that. And then let's get some more of my yellow, a little bit of the white. bright yellow. There we go. You kind of dab that on the upper areas there. And just kind of blend that out a little bit. There we go. Okay, so there's just a subtle little darker area on our star down here and along some of the sides there. And then I'm going to wipe that out. I may just kind of drag it on my blue here and have it shining out. If you have too much paint here, it'll just streak big, thick globs. So you just have to do it with little to no paint on your brush and have a brush that's stiff enough that it will kind of come off on the canvas. And then if I want a little bit thicker or maybe a little bit more obvious, I can get a little bit of fresh paint just on the very tip of it. Maybe tap it off once or twice and set it down and barely touch it. And like streak it. Barely touch it. But you can hear that texture of the canvas grabbing that paint. So there we go. Kind of fun. Why not, right? That's why I wanted the dark back there. I thought it'd be kind of fun having a little extra something on here. All right, he's looking good. Let's go ahead and work on his hat. I'm contemplating putting this, I think I might move his beard to this side. I don't know. I'm kind of wondering if I want it on here instead of going that way. I kind of made it too big here. I don't think I'm going to put it all the way out here. This is dry, so I can wipe this all off and kind of get a better idea of what I want to do with his outline. I might move him up just slightly so that I have more room to play with the beard, because that's kind of one of my favorite things about him. So I don't know. We'll start on the hat and see how we like, what we think. So I'm going to get a little bit of the Quinacridone Magenta and a little bit of the Cadmium Red Medium and mix those two together, and that'll make a really bright red. Ooh, look how pretty that is. I'm going to arc it in here and then twist it back out to give a little bit more character. There we go. And that kind of mimics this shape here that we did too. All right, then let's just go ahead and kind of wiggle it down and bring it down here. I'm going to keep it kind of narrow at the top, I think. Maybe really exaggerate that tall shape. Cute. Boy, I used to do tons of paintings like this when I did my kids' classes and stuff. We always did, you know, kind of paint party type style, whimsical things like this. Kind of miss it. It's fun. This takes me back.
Well, let's do more of it.
I should. I know.
You should.
Well, it takes more design time to design something like this, because especially if it's, you know, if you don't have a good reference photo. So doing it live, it's a little bit trickier to not have a plan, you know, to not have a photo to go off of. And since I do all of my stuff live, like when I would do these kind of lesson plans for my kids, I would write out all the steps ahead of time and paint it ahead of time and make sure I had everything, because I only had an hour and a half to do it with the kids. So I had to make sure that everything was just so, you know. And obviously with YouTube, I well, I used to paint everything ahead of time, and my tendonitis was like, no, you don't want to do that. So we had to stop that. Thank you, arm.
And gnomes are notoriously difficult
what?
to get them to stand still for pictures.
Well, and now that I've got my digital tablet, I can do things like that on the tablet, whereas I couldn't, I mean, and it's obviously different on the tablet. Doesn't react the same way paint does, but at least I can get an idea of what I want to do with a project. So that was helpful to be able to do this that way. All right. Oh, he's cute. I like him. I was looking at pictures of gnomes, like old vintage gnomes, and I noticed that their bottom parts, their pants were like a teal. So I think I'm going to make his pants teal and do some red mittens on his hands to match his hat. So I'm kind of changing it up a little bit from the photo. So, he's so cute. I can't stand it. Oh, okay. Let me see. Yeah, I want his hand to be right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put his little mitten holding on to this staff. Just kind of a little round blob there. And then his other one down here off to the side. Kind of in the same general region. If he was standing that way, his thumb would be up. Okay. Just making sure I'm getting the thumb in the right direction here. So his thumb would be up here. You don't have to do a thumb, but okay. So there we go. Cute. Just say that under my breath. Cute. All right, I'm gonna get some black and my magenta, and a little bit of blue, or a little bit of the red, but mostly. It doesn't take a lot of black. It's kind of like the same thing with the cadmium orange or the cadmium red and the yellow. The black is going to tint this really dark without having to try a whole lot. So I'm just going to use a little bit of that on my brush. This is still slightly wet, so I just have to be careful. But I'm thinking about where my folds are. Maybe there's some dark coming in on my folds. Maybe right in here. Like that. And then maybe up underneath the hat band that we'll put on here. Cute.
So down in the description of this video, you added a link.
What?
You added a link?
I did. I created a list of just kind of some fun Christmas idea art supplies. If you are looking for ideas, it helps support our channel. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but it's kind of a fun way to help support the channel without having to do anything but click a link, It's kind of nice. So I just spent a couple hours today coming up with a list of just some fun stuff, things that are kind of like the must-haves as far as like this is these three plus a little bit of white there. So, and I have way too much paint on my brush here. If you have too much paint, it just won't go on soft enough. It kind of globs on there, and I want it to be kind of dry brush. So I'm gonna there we go. See, wipe that off and then just kind of brush that on. So Fun little highlights. And I can get some of the Cadmium Red Medium too, just some of the brighter red, and use that also just on its own. Sorry, my phone. Ooh, I got a baby picture. I gotta look in it. Sorry.
The daily baby has come in.
Oh, Liam's got his baby.
That's awesome.
He said, "Look, this is my baby. It's your sister. It came out of my tummy. The doctor teached me how. I got to feed it." Oh, that's so cute. I won't show you the rest of it, but oh my gosh, so funny. And then here's our other little. We got double lucky this Christmas. I have to say, I am so excited. Sorry, I have to turn my sound off here. Break for grandbabies. Okay, that's it. I'm back to work. Sorry.
Squirrel.
Exactly. Well, priorities, Yeah, we got so lucky. We got 2 grandbabies right before Christmas. So
2 granddaughters.
2 granddaughters. I know. And little Liam is 3, almost 4, and he's been a great big brother. He's so sweet. So now he's got his own baby. He doesn't have to share his sister with mom. That's great. That is so cute. All right. So just kind of going back with the mid-tone to sort of soften the transitions there if we need to. I'm going to get some of that darker again. And just dab it on there. You can do this many times as you need to till you get it kind of the smoothness that you want. But looks pretty good, I think. It's a little bit orange. So if you wanted a little bit more magenta, you could go back in and use a little bit of the magenta glaze. I'm going to get a little bit of this dark color, add it to my mittens too, just kind of at the bottom where maybe it'd be a little bit more shadowed. And maybe on the thumb. And then get some of that lighter color and kind of add it to the middle top. And think about the lights coming from here. So like maybe on our hat, we've got some light coming up right there from our glowing lantern. And maybe the same thing with our star, maybe like across from the star here, we've got a little bit extra light right there on our hat. Okay, nice. How are we doing on time? Okay, now we're making good time.
You have 57 minutes.
Oh, before
until
Island?
Season premiere.
Check. Okay, I will do my best. Then I better decide where I'm going to put his beard. Let me get some black and some of my burnt umber and a little bit of unbleached titanium and make a dark gray. Do I want his... I do think I want a little band there. Mark's laughing at me. Are you laughing at me?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think I decided I didn't. Yeah, I guess I do want a little bit of a fluff there, like a Santa cap. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of gray, and I'm going to bring it out. I'm just going to make it kind of small because I don't want it to take up too much space on this hat. Small, and bring it out. Like that. And then a little bit on And you want this to be kind of fluffy, so don't make it too perfect. And then I'm going to get a little bit more of the black and just come up underneath there and darken up that. Just right up underneath there. I think I might just, you know, you could make the beard so big that you don't even see the arms or the legs, you know. But I think I want just a little bit of that green, that teal green in here. I think that'll add to it. So I'll go ahead and just kind of put my mustache coming down kind of right here. Sorry, I hope this doesn't like confuse people as I'm painting this, but I feel like seeing the process is also beneficial, you know, seeing the design process, because it kind of takes the mystery out of it. There is no right or wrong way of doing this, honestly. This is how it works. You just kind of try something. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, you know, but all you can do is try, and if it doesn't work, you just do something different next time, you know. It's not the end of the world. I think we get paralyzed by the fear of doing something wrong when we're learning something new like this, and it just stops you from doing anything at all, you know. So maybe this helps somebody, who knows.
It does me when I try out new recipes.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay.
No comment
Are
from
you trying
over
to
there.
be helpful?
Oh, no. I have been been told to not change a recipe.
Yeah, you have been known to change recipes that we know are good recipes for no apparent reason.
To try new things, because you just said there's no right or wrong.
Okay.
You can just experiment.
Right. All right. I'm gonna get some lighter gray. I just got some white and mixed it in here. I added some blue here to this part. So it turned out to be black, burnt umber, and ultramarine blue that went into the beard. And then just the ultramarine blue, or just the black and burnt umber and unbleached titanium for the hat part of it. And I'm just going to stick with this brush. It seems to be working just fine for me, so why not? So let's go ahead and do some. I'm just going to define the mustache, and I think that'll help me with the rest of the clothing there. And yeah, we'll do the beard through here. I think I'm going to bring it out this side, yeah. Yeah, that'll be cute. Okay. So something like that. It'll kind of tip up the end here. I'm going to bring it down over the feet. Okay, so for the clothing, I'm going to do phthalo green and phthalo blue. A little bit more on the green side, and then add some white. Nice. That's a beautiful color. Okay, so we'll just put that in. There. And it needs to be darker because it's the same value as our background. So you can either go lighter or darker. And the beard's going to be lighter, so I'm just going to go darker with the clothes. I'm gonna clean up around that hand there. I went over it a little too much right there. Okay, there we go. I'll bring the beard back over the top of this, but I'm just kind of drawing it in so I have a reference of where it goes. Yeah, that'll work. Cute. And then let's get some light. Add some light on top. It's just kind of peeking through there. Not a whole lot of it. And then we'll do his little black feet, boots. I'm going to keep them kind of small. Cute. Go up over the body a little bit with these. Nice. Getting a little bit of white. Mixing it into what's on my brush here. I'm just going to kind of add a little highlight on top of those. Right. Let's wipe off our chalk marks now. This is all dry. Okay, I can't do my shoes because they're still wet, but we'll do those here in a minute. And let's go ahead and do the nose. So I'm going to use the same color as the hat here, this pink over here that we did, and just add the unbleached titanium to it, maybe a little bit more of the cadmium red light. And if it seems too orange, you can add a tiny touch of burnt umber to it. And that'll kind of tone it down, make it a little bit more of a natural color. The unbleached titanium is actually a really good flesh like highlight tone for Caucasian skin tones. So we just want to go a little bit darker. I think I'm gonna, oh, he's so cute. The nose does it. Can't stand it. Okay, so I'm gonna make it that size, and I'm gonna bring the beard up to it a little bit more. Get some of that darker tone. Bring that up and over. Okay. Kind of like that. I really like the little curly wisps. I mean, we could do it on both sides, kind of parting around his feet too. You can exaggerate it however you want. There's 1,000 different ways of doing it. I'm going to get a little bit more blue. I think I want some blue tones in here in the beard. So I'm just going to add some of that back in there. Let that kind of made it a little weird right here. I don't really know what is happening right there. So I think I'm going to bring this in a little bit over here and make it coming over before it widens out. little bit of that green from the body, but that's okay. Okay. This, I think I'm going to stick with this brush. It's doing okay, so I'm just going to keep on rolling with it until it seems too big. I'm going to get some of this light gray here. This is the same color that I used on my shoe, and use a little bit of it on the top of my lantern there to just give it a little highlight. I'm going to add a little bit more highlight on my crook of my cane here, and think about, okay, the light's going to be right there, so just add a little bit light on that pole right there. Maybe a little bit on this side coming down too. All right, and then I've got no white left, so I'm going to get a little bit of white. Doing okay?
I'm doing great.
Good.
We're talking food,
Oh,
if you're wondering. During your art tutorial, we're just talking about food.
hey, that's the best thing about live streaming. You guys can chat, and I can paint, and everybody's happy.
Catch up with some old friends.
Exactly.
Well, not old as in like old. But,
If they're our age, they're
but you know who
getting
you
there.
are. Come on, be honest. Somebody did ask if I posed for this picture.
Could have.
Yep, definitely could have.
He's not super shaggy this year, but man, there was that last year. Was it last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah, during COVID, he got pretty shaggy.
Mm-hmm.
Since he didn't have to go in the office, he just let it all hang out there.
My beard.
His beard. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna tap to open up the fibers of this brush. Just tap in there. I'm gonna start with kind of a mid-tone gray, like a light gray, but not quite white. Save the white for the very end for the brightest part. And I'm leaving just a little bit of that down there. I think I'm gonna switch to a little bit better brush that's made for stippling. So this is the blender here. This will open up even more and kind of give me a better stipple. There we go. Yeah, nice. Okay, so let's use this on our hat. The band here. And as I'm stippling, I'm just kind of moving it up and down so I'm not getting any straight lines, because the tendency is to repeat yourself and make patterns. If you don't actively remind yourself not to, you'll end up with this line of just solid along here. So by just kind of tapping back and forth, up and down, it looks a little bit more natural and random. Okay. Nice. Oh, he's so cute. I can't stand it. I've been asked to do a gnome for a couple years now, so finally getting around to it. I could never find a photo that I liked, so I finally just Terry, one of my followers, requested it a couple weeks ago when I was coming up with my December schedule, and I'm like, you know what? Just gonna try drawing one.
Let's do it.
Let's try it. And sure enough, he turned out really cute. I'm pretty happy with him. He's a cute little guy. And really wasn't that hard. I've done enough snowmen in these kind of situations. He's not, if I can do a snowman, you can do one of these. He's not that much harder. Okay, cute. Cute. All right, so that last little bit was just done with white, kind of pure white, and just tap in that pure white. Sort of not right on the edge, sort of in the middle-ish area. Okay, looks good. Looks good. And we can use this brush for our shadow on our nose. So let's get a little bit of burnt umber, mix it with my red. And wipe out most of that. I'm just going to kind of use it there to darken up the nose right on underneath where the hat is going to be, and then right at the bottom there. And wipe out, once you put that color down, wipe out your brush and just kind of use what's left in it to kind of push that paint around and pull it towards the center a little bit. And if you get too much, you can always go back in with your flesh tone color, your original color, and add some of that back in. And you may need to do that anyways to give it a second coat, because it may not have gone on real well, or, you know, solid. And then I'm going to get some of the Unbleached Titanium with our same brush. So it's got a little bit of that pink in it. And I'm just going to highlight the top, like it's kind of the top third of the nose. Not quite up to the very top, because I want that to look like it's tucked up underneath and getting a little shadow. So there we go. Get a little bit more of my original color. Blend that out. Okay. Cute. And then if I want a little bit, just a little bit more of a bright highlight, I can kind of come up and just kind of tap maybe one side, maybe the side closest to this light here, and give him just a little tiny highlight right there. And then I think I want a little bit more on his gloves too. So I'm going to get a little bit here and just highlight a little bit on his gloves. Maybe on the hat a little bit too. Okay. Cute. I like the pop of red, and then we're going to put some red in their tree too. So let's go ahead and use this brush for that. And I'm going to get my red, add a little bit of white to it. The white will just make it more opaque so that it covers my dark greens in my tree. And wipe most of it out once I get it on there. And I'm just going to kind of find some spots where I want to have a red glow in my tree. So just kind of skip it around here. And I want my edges to be kind of fuzzy, so don't put this on super solid. These are not ornaments, these are lights. So if you want to do ornaments, you can, but these are just lights in my case. I'm trying not to create too much of a pattern either, so keep that in mind as you're doing this. Okay, there we go. Cute. Let's get some yellow. If I can get some on here. I haven't cleaned out my brush, so it's got a little bit of this red. It'll create a little bit of a golden tone. See right there where it kind of, I touched it and it was still wet, it lifted off. So I've got to get a little bit of the darker color and kind of pop it back in. I'm going to go ahead and touch off with a little bit of that bright yellow while I have it on my brush. And then let's keep on going here. Add a couple more of these. And they don't have to be equal distance apart too. You can kind of crowd them around, you know, together a little bit, close to each other. Get a little bit more of that yellow, brighter yellow on here, and let's just dab on my bright yellow lights there. And you know how Christmas lights have that kind of like teardrop shape. So I'm just kind of trying to think about that when I'm doing this. And I'm going to get a little bit of those, both of those reds there. Nice bright red here, and just dab in a kind of a line for my red lights. Cute. And let's do some teal. So same colors as this, teal blue, phthalo blue, and phthalo green. Creates a beautiful aqua teal. Add a little bit of white. This will kind of tie together this too nicely. Okay. Really bright aqua blue. There we go. Fun. All right. Clean that out. Get a little bit of my white on here. And I'm going to go up in my star here and just add a little bit of bright white sort of in the middle here and along this opposite where I did the dark. I'm just going to kind of use my finger to blend it out, but it'll kind of make it a little shinier looking. And then really the only thing we have left is our beard for the most part. Let me get a round brush here. I'm going to fix the hat up here. I notice I got outside the lines a little bit much.
I think you need to also kind of ground him.
Oh, well, I'll be using snow, yeah.
He looks
I'll
like
be
he's
adding
kind
snow.
of floating.
I'll be adding snow to him.
Unless he's a magical gnome.
No, he's going to be having snow around him, and we'll add snowflakes and stuff too. So I'm just talking about the main part of his body and stuff. We're not done.
Well, it's silly me to think that you were saying you were almost done and we're almost
exactly.
done.
No, I'm not almost done.
I don't know what I was thinking. Sorry, everybody.
You know better.
Oh, yeah, I know.
What?
You will finish snow painting before it is time.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go back in here with my light gray here. I just mixed into this blue gray that I had from before that I used for the background. Had some burnt umber, white, a little bit of black, a little bit of ultramarine blue. I'm just going to kind of do little short brush strokes. Overlapping to do the little beard. Oh, so cute. Can't stand it. I'm sorry. I know I've said that about 1,000,000 times, but he's so cute. Love it. Why have I never done a gnome before now? If you guys like this, please leave a thumbs up and let me know, because I like it. Mm-hmm. So if I have my way, I'll be doing more of these. Maybe not for Christmas, but maybe like a Valentine's one. Or
yeah, that's what I suggested.
In the spring, exactly.
Let's just do a whole family.
Yes, exactly. Just all the seasons of gnominess. I'm getting a little bit of black here.
Oh, that would be cool. You could do like a family. You know how they do like stick figure families.
Yeah.
So you can do one for each member of the family.
I like it.
I mean, the female gnomes' beards will have to be a little bit shorter, but that's understandable. Wow, that was deafening silence there.
I'm thinking. Sorry. I'm paying attention to what I'm doing here.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
But yes, that'd be cute. All right, I like it. Yeah, I like the little swirly beard dealy. And then let's add some like brighter, just a few bits of like brighter whitish. I might add a little bit of the unbleached titanium to it to give it a little bit more of a warmth. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's a good color. Think about where the light might be hitting it. And if it's not going on smoothly for you, if you're getting a lot of texture that you don't want, or you know you're not getting like smooth brush strokes, you can just add a little bit of water. That'll help give you a little bit more smoothness. Oh my gosh. I keep looking up at the monitor at the whole thing, and it's just like so freaking cute. I can't stand it.
So in the lantern, I noticed that in your reference there's like a line in the center. Are you going to add that?
I might add it back, yeah. I just wanted to paint it in first and then...
And see how it looked?
I think I might.
You don't have to. I was just wondering. But there will definitely not be any splatters tonight. So sorry, everybody, if you were looking forward to that. That's not happening.
He's lying. He is lying. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm trying not to get too emotional about this, but it's cute. I'm gonna do some little flyaway. So now I've got his kind of main beard in shape and everything, then I can kind of get a little bit more free with it and do a few little flyaways that are kind of not behaving, not staying in the, you know, coming out.
He needs to get some beard balm for Christmas.
Exactly. Okay, I like it. Let's do that line that you were talking about in the lantern. I'm going to get a little bit of black on my round brush here. Do a line down. Yeah, that's cute. Maybe we could even, you know, if I thought about it, let me see if I can do it now. Yeah, I can. I'm going to do an X. You know how they have like, sometimes they'll have like an X through them. I can do that instead. Yeah, that's cute. Yeah, I like it. I like it. You know what? Let's do a bird. For sure. Let me see. I got time. I can do it. I'm going to do a bluebird.
Let's put a bird on it.
Let's put a bird on it. Yep, we're going to do it. We'll do him right here. He's just hanging out with his friend, the gnome. Little bluebird. Why not? Yeah, I mean, you need it. You kind of need it. I don't know. I'm going to get some of the red here. Can get some of the same red as right here. Maybe a little bit more desaturated, but that'll kind of be our little belly color. Oh yeah, he's cute. A little bit of black for the beak. The beak comes into the face. Don't have it on the edge. Make sure it goes into the head. And then the eye is usually sitting right behind it. And I just have to kind of clean it up a little bit, but that's sort of our starting place there. I'm going to get a little bit more of the brighter blue, and I'm going to go around that eye with it. This is totally optional. If you don't want to do this, don't leave it out by all means. I just thought it'd be fun. That's it. I like birds. So
back to the rule.
What?
Back to the rule we said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The number one rule of Paint Club. There's no rules.
Yes. Going a little bit darker with the blue here. Phthalo blue. I like it. You could do cardinal if you wanted. If you don't want to do this bird. Cardinal would be a little bit easier maybe, though just the all red. Get a little bit of white here, kind of filling in around the bottom. Didn't really leave any room for his feet to set, so I'm going to have him kind of sitting on it. Getting the black. And the feet come from back here, so I'm just going to do my little feet's coming in back there. I got him kind of looking down at my gnome. I'm going to use a little bit of this black on the underside of the wings just to kind of define them a little bit. And then get a little bit of white. Wipe most of it off, just a tiny bit on here. I'm going to kind of use it around the outside of the eye just slightly, and then dab in just a little highlight that I immediately kind of smudge away so it's not super bright. A little highlight on the beak and maybe a little highlights on the bottoms of the feet so you can see them. Okay. Cute. I think I'm gonna go a little bit brighter with the wings. I've been kind of slowly building up the color here. Didn't want to oversaturate it right at first. So I'm gonna go a little bit brighter with the blue. And then go a little bit brighter with the red too. Get a little bit more of that cadmium red light and white. Oh, that's better. Yeah, get them a little bit brighter. Chest and a little bit better. Cute. Okay. And that's nice because it pulls in this color to one other place, so it's not the only place that we've got that color. It's always nice to have like a couple places when you have a unique color. Getting some bright white here, and just gonna put some bright white small feathers in here. Oops, really don't want it right there. Blue right there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, he's cute. I think that worked. All right, I need a little bit more white. I'm going to get my fluid white. If you want to, you could use this on your tree to add just a teeny highlight. Somebody in the neighborhood. An ambulance. That's not good.
I think it was a police car.
Oh yeah, it sounded like it. We have a neighbor that's a police officer, so maybe he had to go on a call. Okay. Hope nobody's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, his hat had some details on it, so I want to add those. I'm going to use this brush and quickly kind of just do some very light little what? One
of our fans asked, did somebody leave quesadillas in the oven?
Hey now, I haven't done that in like 2 years. The last time somebody had flaming anything was Mark, and he overcooked some steaks and got flaming grease on my brand new chairs. So
that was one of those try new recipe events.
He wins the battle of the bad cooks on that one.
That was a little tense there for a little while.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm doing this purposefully, like very translucent, so that it goes on light and I don't have to put a ton of. If I put it on too thickly, it would be super noticeable, you know. So having it be kind of translucent like this keeps it kind of, I don't know, just a little bit like, oh, it's there, but it's not like in your face there. If that makes sense. Okay, you could add colors if you wanted to, dots, whatever. I might add some dots to the ends of some of these. Got this water hanging off the edge there. I don't want it to fall on anything. Yeah, that's cute. I like it. This has been a fun one. I hope you guys try it. Definitely getting me in the Christmassy mood. I have not been much in the mood this year with everything else going on. But I'm getting there. This helps a lot. It's kind of late getting my start on the Christmas tutorials this year too. So I wish I'd done 4 in this layer. I'd probably do 4 here instead of just 3. I didn't look at my reference.
That's okay.
Probably setting my paint, my down into paint too. Okay. Cute. Probably could have gone a little bit more like cartoony on the bird. If you want, you know, like he's a little realistic for the scene maybe. But not too bad. I think it'll work.
What do you mean?
All right,
That's not what gnomes look like.
Let's get my Zinc White. I'm going to get some of this titanium white. Now, I need to clear off a space to work. I got no space.
So while I was out drawing, did you say anything about Patreon?
I did not.
Oh, so there we go. Patreon.com/AngelaFineArt. It's a way to help support the channel and get bonus contents like traceables for all the videos here on YouTube and also on Crowdcast. And that's a $2 level right now. And the $5 level, you get the traceables plus a bonus video each month.
Yeah, they don't get traceables for the bonus videos though. So
All right. I'm sorry. So the $2 level, you only get YouTube traceables.
Right.
$5 level, you get YouTube traceables plus Crowdcast traceables.
Plus the bonus video.
Bonus video. Right.
Not the challenge video.
Oh man, I'm messing up. So
You are
bad.
really messing it up.
So you only get the traceables available to that level
Thank you.
and below. $10 level, you get all the traceables.
You get all of it.
Because you get the bonus video, the challenge image, and all that stuff.
Right. The challenge image that we're working on this month is a horse. Let me see if I can pull it out without getting paint on it.
The bonus video is behind you too.
It's very much in the working stages, but it's got a winter horse. It's going to have a wreath here and a squirrel and a couple birds up here, a woodpecker, and he's obviously not done. Mm-hmm. So that the challenge video is one that we work on all month long, and until we like it. So it's just basically a kind of open-ended project that we take our time on. Last month was the stacked pumpkins that I posted on my social media. If you missed that, turned out really, really cool. I like that one a lot. But we've done some really fun challenge images. We're working on probably start of the year. We're going to be working on animals of either Australia, North America, or Africa. We've got continental animal series. We did Asia and South America last year. So we do a lot more animals, more realistic stuff, and more in-depth things. And then the bonus video tends to be like a in-depth landscape, or I think next month we're going to be doing a tiger. I'll show you what we did
this
on
past weekend.
Saturday. We finished that. So for our bonus video.
So the bonus video is one sitting, but it could be 3, 4, 5 hours long.
Right. And then this one is handy too, so I'll show you that one. That was the pumpkins from last month. That was the challenge for the $10 level. So
the challenge image is broken up to 3 or 4 sessions.
Right. Usually they tend to be about 8 hours to 10 hours long, and then the bonus video is usually 3 to 5 hours long in a one setting. So those are a little trickier for me because.
And the other advantage too is that, like this past bonus video was the 43rd bonus video since we've been doing Patreon, and you get access to all 43 tutorials.
Right.
For $5.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is.
It's
it
not
is
just
a really,
this
really
month.
good
It's
deal.
everything previous.
Yes.
So
yeah.
And the $10 you get all that plus the other 30 some on challenge images too.
A lot more in-depth things that I can't really do on YouTube. Yep. They're just, things that it doesn't make sense for me to do on YouTube because they would just be way too long, and YouTube doesn't really like it when I do super long
And thank
videos.
you for all the supporters.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Absolutely,
you guys are
incredibly amazing.
All right, let's do our snow. I'm gonna get let's get our snow on here. I'm gonna get my Deerfoot Stippler because that'll put on the snow a lot faster for me. So I'm gonna get my blue here. I'm going to get a little bit of Ultramarine Blue and mix that with my white to start with. It's always good to have like a mid-tone with this. I'm going to need a lot of this. I don't know why. I may want it to be a little bit darker too. We'll see. Or a little bit thicker, I mean. So we'll see. But I'm gonna start lightly and just scribble in my snow around and leaving plenty of the dark. That's good. I want the snow to come up over his boots there in the front and up and around his staff. And I can go back in with the if this is leaving too much of a halo around the staff, I can go back in with that black, and I may just do that to kind of touch it up. I probably could have done this before I put too much more of this detail in, but I don't know. It is what it is at this point, so we'll just work our way around around it. Call it good. Kind of like that. And then let's get a little bit more of just the bright white snow, and I'm going to tap that so I have like texture. A little bit goes a long way, so you can see how I haven't reloaded this whole time. Just tapping. And then wiping my brush out and just kind of pushing it around. Maybe smudging it out a little bit. Cute. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Might get a little bit brighter, just like right down in here. If you want to get super fancy, you could put colors in your snow from the tree, or, I could have some yellow down here, maybe get a little bit of yellow glow from my lantern and put it around him. Down here, kind of on the ground. And if you don't want yellow snow, you can make it a little bit more golden, up to you.
I
think I will kind of put some little dabs of color from our tree down here, a little bit of red. Find where my lights are and maybe kind of light it up just a little bit. Why not? And then I'm pushing it real close to the end here, honey. I know. Sorry.
That's okay. The first show's going to be all recap and coming back to the island for the beginning. So,
all right, let's do some snowflakes. So, I'm going to do a nice big one right here. Oh shoot! I did that wrong. Oh. They're supposed to be 6-sided. Is that right?
I don't know.
I think when I've done them before, you do them like a little X. I'll do the next one the right way.
Okay, first we're going to show you how to do it not the right way. And then we'll show you how to do it the right way.
Yeah.
We kind of, show you the mistakes as well as the good stuff.
Well, that's the joy of having it live. If I was doing this recorded, I could have taken that part out.
Cut it, edit it.
It's all right.
Snowflake in the sky. Second take and action.
1 and then an X. That's your snowflake right there. I'll do one over here. So I'm looking at the shape to where they're at and also the size. 1, 2, 3. Try to get in those kind of, even if I can. And there's no real right or wrong way of doing a snowflake. There's so many little varieties. You can look them up if you want to. They're really fun to do. I'm trying to think of, I don't have any in front of me to remember what I did last time that I liked. Okay. And then if I had, like you could use a little stylus and do them really, really cleanly too. I'm being a little bit sloppy about mine, but I honestly, the more I paint, the more sloppy I am. It's weird. But the more I realize that it's in the kind of messiness sometimes that make it give it a little character. And so I don't sweat all of the little details as much as I used to, getting everything just so, but that's up to you. If you want to take your time, you can use something like a stylus like this with a really perfectly round point, or even the back end of a brush, and do your dots with that instead of a brush, and you'll get a lot cleaner dots that way. I've got Zinc White and titanium white here, and you want your paint to be like a milky consistency when you do snow splatters. And woo, see, I just barely have to touch. I don't want tons on his face, so I'm gonna kind of protect his face some. And you want some on him, but not, not a whole ton.
Is that the look you were going for?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Probably have better snowflakes on this dude, so if you want to find that tutorial with the blue he's got. Yeah, so I kind of linked up the lines a little bit more on that guy. But if you do enough snow, it doesn't matter. Just do snow over it and everything's good. Cute. All right, I think I'm pretty much done. That was fun. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know in the comments if you did. If you want to see more gnomes, other seasons, give me ideas down there, what you'd like to see. Always interested to see what you guys liked or didn't like. Just be nice about it. That's it. So you don't get your comment deleted. If you start it by "I don't mean to be mean," then I'll pretty much not going to read the rest of it. I'll just delete it. Just not going to lie. That's pretty much a dead giveaway. It's going to be mean. You have to start your sentence that way. got some jingle bells. Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Jingle bells. I think I'm going to add some snow on my tree. I just realized I probably want a little snow dabs on there, so I'm going to use my white. You go do that.
So the jingle bells are our Christmas version for the cowbell.
I like it.
For our super chat. So our first one this evening was from Laura. She says, "Very cute, Angela.
Aw.
Many thanks to you, Mark, and the family."
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura. That's awesome.
Appreciate
Love
it.
And the second one was from Karen, and she says, "Merry Nomi." Merry Nomi. Enjoyed this tutorial very much. Thank
Yay.
you.
Thank
you
you.
very much, Karen and Laura.
Yeah.
And then we had a question.
Okay.
It came earlier in the show, and they asked. I had to take a picture because I was afraid it was going to fall off, which it did.
Uh-huh.
Hold on, I gotta find it. It says,
I need a bigger brush for this. It's not going on big enough. They're too wispy. Go for it.
the question is, do you prime the canvas before printing?
Painting?
I thought painting too, so I wasn't sure. I know that you were trying to print out some stuff. So were you saying anything about printing on? Okay. So,
I mean, I was trying to print out some stuff.
well, there's a picture over there.
Where?
I thought that was on a canvas that you printed out. The baby picture. Was it a piece of paper? Maybe you were seeing things.
That's not has anything to do with this. I don't know what you mean.
So I know it doesn't have anything to do with this particularly. I wasn't listening to part of the show where the question came up, so I thought you were talking about printing on canvas.
No, I was not.
So I'm sorry.
No, I was not. I did not talk about that at all. So I'm not really sure what the question's asking, but do I prime the canvas? No, not unless it is a really cheap canvas and it needs it. You know, if it's super thick, then yes, sometimes, you could do that. But I usually would paint it with a, base coat, and then that gives you enough of a smoother surface to work with. Usually once you get at least one coat of paint on there, you're good to go, So whether it's gesso or paint, your underlayer of paint or something, that'll be all you need usually.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't know what you were talking about. All right, there we go. I'm just adding a little brighter contrast to my tree there to give it a little more detail. And yeah, I think we're done. It was really fun. Thank you to Terry for the suggestion on him. He was a lot of fun to do.
And I vote yes for more. A series. I vote for a series.
You vote for a series?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let me know in the comments.
Gnomes and tanks.
Gnomes.
That's going to be the new series.
I'm going to get a little bit of black and burnt umber and just kind of darken up right around his feet a little bit, around that, and maybe under the tree just slightly. Once you get that white down, you can kind of play with it. Just shadow it a little bit. And I think I want to clean up just the bottom of his staff just a little bit right there, going down into the snow. Okay. Cute. Cute. All right, that's it. I'm done. For real. I could mess with this more. I thought about maybe giving him a string of lights, or there's all kinds of different things you could do with them. Put him with the snowman, all kinds of fun stuff. So you guys get creative with it. I'd like to see yours if you want to share it with me. I've got my social media links down there, and you can share your your versions of the gnomes. We'll have a battle of the gnomes. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great, happy Thanksgiving. Is it going to be? We'll have one more week before Thanksgiving. So we'll be here next week. We'll be doing a snowman, I think. Is it? I think it might be.
I'm not
So
sure.
there you go. All right. Maybe a companion piece for this. Who knows? All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.